Hello everyone, and welcome back to my devlog series for Project Soulrocker, my virtual card game. In this episode, I tackle redesigning the UI and UX of my game. Many of you probably already know what UI means, but some of you may not be as familiar with UX. UX stands for User Experience, which basically means how the player will go about interacting and experiencing the game. UI and UX are often paired together, since UI is usually how the player will interact directly with the game. Explaining these topics isn't really what this video is about, so if you're interested in learning more about UI UX design, then I'll link some good videos on the topic in the description. Here you'll see me start redesigning how the cards will look. Since this is a 1v1 card game where players are looking at the same screen and can see each other's hands, I'm unable to utilize the standard card game layout that Hearthstone, Magic the Gathering, and Slay the Spire use. But there is one card-based game that my friend has recently showed me that has heavily inspired my design. Chrono Arc is a roguelike deck builder, but the cards are these thin rectangles on the left side of the screen that only have the name of the card and the picture of who will perform the action on it. When you hover over them, then it displays all the details of the card, but if you already know what it does, then you don't need to worry about any of that. As you can see, I am also going for the thin card design, but I'm adding a little more information onto it that I believe is necessary for the player to know right away. Those are of course the damage, which is the number in red, the cost, which is the number in yellow, and the attack type, which is the slash banner on the left. I also tried to centralize all of the important information into one area of the card, that area being the right side. This makes it so that the player only needs to look in one spot to get all the info they need. The one exception to this being the slash banner. I couldn't find a good spot for it anywhere on the right side, so I had to add it to the left. I gave it a unique color to make it stand out so that at a glance the player can easily recognize the attack type. I then had to create an example card for each card type, those being attack, heal, buff, and defend. I gave each a unique back image with a unique color to help convey what type of card it is. So I really like the design I created, but I'm biased and I need an outsider's perspective on it. So I created a Google form to see if the information on the card is being conveyed the way I want it to be. I sent the form to a bunch of people that I knew, half of which were fellow game devs, and the other half were just your average game player. The results came back fairly positive. They understood that they were attack, heal, buff, and defend cards, and that the slash, smash, and shoot were the attack types, and that the red number was the damage to deal, the green was the amount to heal, and so on. The only thing that around half the people did not fully understand was the number in yellow, the cost of the card. Some of them thought it was the amount of times you could use the card, some thought it was the card's defense or health, and some thought it was the range. All completely understandable since I gave no real indication for what it was. But since around half the people were able to understood what it meant, I'm going to keep it like this for now. Hopefully a tutorial or the full game UI will help better convey this information. When I get to that point, I'll make another form and iterate from there. Now I start designing the new layout for the game using the cards I designed. The old layout wasn't that bad. I mean, the game doesn't have much going on, so there isn't too much to do. The main problem with it is that it doesn't convey the theme very well, and it separates information. Basically, I put the health bar at the top and the strength bar at the bottom, when really they should both be in the same place to make it easier for the player to gather information. I also add this hover state for the cards, where the card gets slightly bigger than the others and also expands to show the full details of the card. I add a similar hover state to the defense and buff pips that show up after you use a defense or buff card. Since I want to add some complex cards later on, fitting all the little details on these cards won't work too well. Using a similar system to Chrono Arc will help me get around that. Here's the finished layout that I've decided on for now. Of course, a bunch of stuff will change in the future as I get the game to be playable, but for now I'm happy with this. I'm not 100% sure if I will keep the color overlay for each character or not, but again, I'm sure stuff will change in the future. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope this video was informative and entertaining. I'll see you all in the next one.